Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Three Geeks interview. Jason and Justin are reunited to do another one of these fun podcasts. Today, we are joined by Kenny Wilkerson. How are you doing today?
Hey, living the dream, guys. How you guys all doing?
Doing well, Kenny.
Okay.
Yeah, living the Ohio life. We've had like 4 seasons this week. It's been great.
Well, dude, I'm from Indiana, man. So
it snowed like just
Me too.
2 days ago.
I see that's Pacer hat, right?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that. I caught that right away. No, Indiana, man. Yeah, or Ohio. They're the same damn state.
Same. Man. It's all Midwest. It's all
When you cross the borders, you can't tell you left. You know. But yeah, I know. In Indiana, one day it was 82 degrees, and then 2 days later it was snowing.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
That's why I live in Florida, guys. I always say I live where other people vacation.
Yeah, it's a good rule of thumb.
Yep. Try to get my camera all set up here. Okay, we're good. Make sure I look pretty.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Where do I start? Well, obviously, I'm from Indiana. I was born and raised there, just south of Indianapolis. Basically, the year, or about a month after I graduated high school, I moved to Florida, and the story goes from there. I'm in a band called Nova Rex, and we've been together 36 years.
Oh, right.
Wow, so I'm an old dude, man. Yeah. But that's pretty much. That's it. Just been rocking and rolling for 36 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet? What was the antithesis of your band? How did that come together?
The origin story.
I'm fixing everything here. Hold on, make sure I look cute. You know what it was is I met this. What happened was I came down to Florida. I moved in with my uncle. I stayed with him for about a month. And I put a band together right away because that's what I was planning on doing. And I was living with those guys in the garage. And then about a month after that, I get a phone call about this band that just was formed and came down from Canada called Nova Rex. I met JP, and then that's how it started. And we were in a band together for all this time, pretty much.
That's fantastic. Who were some of your influences getting into rock and roll?
Well, my main influences was probably girls, but I would say musically, man, I'm from that Van Halen, Ozzy, Whitesnake. I'm kind of from that, I guess you could throw Kiss in there, and they just full on rock and roll at the time, right? I'm a 18-year-old kid in 1985, so what else? And I'm already borrowing my mom's clothes and my girlfriend's clothes. So I had Aquanet, so I was good to go.
That's awesome. I'm looking at the cover for the book you wrote, the Rockin Recipes for Autism.
Ta-da! The book. What happened was I had a radio show. I've had a couple of radio shows, but FM. But anyways, what happens is I go to New Orleans. I try to get there every other year. Right. I just like going there for a 3-day party. And if you guys ever been there or not, but it's a blast. And the food there, after you eat there for 3 or 4 days, you can't really just come back and go to like Olive Garden. You know what I mean? You're kind of messed up. So I was interviewing a buddy of mine, some famous bass player guy. And I asked him, I was telling him the story. I just got back from New Orleans. And he's like, oh, dude, I'm from New Orleans. My parents are from New Orleans. I got this recipe, this jambalaya recipe. It's 100 years old, blah, blah. So he sent me the recipe. Well, it kind of became a thing. So I started collecting these recipes just randomly from just rock guys. And then a year into it, I met this charity. I kept playing these events, and I kept seeing this charity called We Rock for Autism. It's a 501c out of South Florida that does music therapy for kids that are on the spectrum. I happen to have a son that has Asperger's, which is high-functioning autism, but it is autism. He's been in autistic school and everything too. And some of those kids there were even nonverbal, So... yeah. I understand it's it's definitely a community. You know what I mean? Like if you say, hey, I have a son that has autism, you don't have to say anything else to me. I know exactly what you're going through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The only thing, well, back to the charity. I'm getting off the track. But so I found the charity, and when I did that, I just buckled down and started reaching out to my rock and roll buddies over the last 36 years that I've played shows with and met and interviewed, and the rock and roll community. And there you go. I didn't call any managers, lawyers, record labels, if there is such a thing left. And I put a book together. It's never been done before. It's a rock star written cookbook. It's 127 pages, full glossy. I've got members from like Ozzy, Whitesnake. I got Frankie Banili from Quiet Riot. Stone Sour, Warrant, Poison, Evanescence, Queen's Right, Skid Row. I mean, I can go on. Don Dawkins, and then a bunch of other guys too, Kicks, etc. So I've got, like I said, 57, and these guys just donated the recipes. I didn't have it broken down to like desserts and appetizers.
Sure.
Sure. I was just happy that they threw me a recipe.
Yeah.
And so that's what I ended up doing. Now I've had the book almost a year, but it basically came out in the middle of COVID, which. I thought I'd be out there selling the books, doing shows. I thought other bands in it would be doing that, and some have helped. Sure. But like for instance, there's the late Frankie Banili from Quiet Riot with his pumpkin ravioli, and then I got just different ones. I mean, here's Doug Aldrich from Whitesnake.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then what they'll do too, they'll do little bios on them and stuff. Here you go. I'm just showing you the book now. Here's Ricky from Poison. Vegetarian, by the way. But the thing is, like I have the drummer from Stone, I can't even say it, Stone Sour, Roy. And with Roy's, it'll say something like, when Roy was a kid, he used to play on pots and pans. And now he cooks, when he's off the road, he cooks for his family,
Yeah, that's awesome.
So the guys that put it together were called Story Farm here in Florida, and they do cookbooks.
Okay.
And I actually try to make it pro because it's for a charity. Like, for instance, I have Chip from Enough's Enough in it. And the first thing that they said to me is, does it have weed in it? I mean, Chip's like, dealing with freaking Willie Nelson. So I was like, I'm like, no, it's freaking pro. There's actually no recipes. And a matter of fact, the majority of the people that are in the book have been cooks, own restaurants, etc. So it's amazing how many of these rockers actually know how to cook. And I say, look, dude, even with you guys, everybody's got that one go-to meal to get laid on, right? You know what I mean? So you got to be able to cook one thing. And if you got it, give it to me. That's how and originally, I started off with about 80 some recipes. It's got 57 in it. Again, almost a 2-pound book. But I call it volume 1, just in case if this works out, I would love to do one a year.
Sure.
And they say autism, 1 in 54 people in America have some form of it. So it's really hot.
It doesn't surprise me. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
And so basically with the book, what I liked about it, and I've never done a book. I mean, I've done some TV stuff. I've obviously done music, but not a book. And it's a whole completely different animal. Just the grammar on it and the spell check is out of control. But and it's amazing how expensive paper is. Paper is really expensive. You can do a damn CD or DVD for like $1. But books are way more expensive. So there's definitely, I had to bankroll the thing and pre-sell it and do all that. But yeah.
That's awesome. Is it available for sale right now? Like, can someone go out and buy it right now?
Yeah, the best thing to do, if you go to Rockin, again, I'm showing the book. You go to Rockin without a G, Rockin Recipes for Autism.com. It'll tell you why I did the book, when I did the book, how I did the book. It's got flip pages in it, talks about the charity as well, how I dedicated to my son, and everything you really need to know is on that. So just Rockin Recipes for Autism.com. It's a very inexpensive book. I didn't know what I was doing 100%. So I sold the book for $29.99. I probably should have got 50 for it, just to tell you. That's how they. Sure. But I didn't. But I just wanted to move them, and raise awareness.
Yeah.
But $30, and like I said, the proceeds go to a charity called We Rock for Autism. And what I liked about the book, as a musician, you go out and you go cut a song. Well, you're lucky if 3 months later that song's not done. They're ready for the next song.
Sure.
But with the book, especially last year and even now, still we're not out of it. But the pandemic, a lot of people are cooking from home. And so my girl, my fiance, she was raised in a diner in Valdosta, Georgia. So yeah, I eat catfish and collard greens now. But anyways, she pulls out her Martha Stewart book or Paula Deen books. They're there for life. They don't really expire. So for me, it's like, look, if you like to cook, get the book. If you want to know again what Ricky Rocket from Poison cooks and you're a Poison fan, get the book. And if you just want to support autism, which again, 1 in 54 people, so somehow you're connected to it. So and music therapy in general, I'm anything about music. I mean, like I said, they take it out of a lot of schools and stuff now. So it's a very important. It's more important than people think to have music in their life. So there you go. That's it.
I hope 40 years from now. See ya. I hope 40 years from now, someone's grandma's pulling out Ozzy Osbourne's recipe and being like, "What's crazy?" Yeah.
Like I said, it's never been done before.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
So I thought, what a no-brainer. It just kind of fell into my lap. Like I said, after I had the recipes and I knew I could get them, and then in the charity, I mean, I was pretty well good to go. It was just raising the money. It took me about a year to do pre-sales on it, which is really hard to do. Pre-sell anything is hard to do.
I bet.
People want their stuff now. You know what I mean? And did that, and I've just been out pimping it. And I appreciate guys like yourself helping get the word out.
Of course, glad to. Yeah.
I got a question for actually Justin. What's your go-to meal to get laid, Justin?
Yeah, what is it?
I know. Probably just steak and potatoes, right? That's my go-to meal for most things. I'm trying to impress anybody, but yeah.
What about you, Jason?
Mine's mashed potatoes and pork chops.
Yeah, see, I was going to say that. Oh my God, fried pork chop. Right?
So good.
That's foreplay right there. I will do the dishes after a fried pork chop. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully the next morning.
Yeah, well, I'm eating soup out of a can tonight. Yeah, I've been together for a while. But it's just amazing the different recipes, and like I said, most of them are passed down from families and stuff.
Sure, it's wonderful. It's really, really cool. So, what was outside of the price of paper? What was the most interesting thing about creating a book? You know what I mean? What was the challenges you might have run into?
Well, definitely, like I said, the second time around, it'll be a much easier process.
Sure.
I'll tell you the really hardest thing, other than just all the proofing, because some of them handwritten it, and I had to go through all that, or at least the publisher did, and then just they had some of them had the measurements off. I mean, just because you have a little scrap piece of paper or an index card, you have to try to translate that.
Yeah.
But my biggest problem in paper was very expensive. Bro. I mean, my God, I never thought it. But anyways, that's enough of that. I'm not even going to tell you how much I got in it. But the photos. What happened was I had all these bands, and some of them I'm tight with, some of them I just kind of know, just off the whatever you call it. Just I've seen them, said hi, and things like that. But what happened was when we finally got all the recipes written out, then I sent them over all the photos, and the majority of photos I asked the musicians, hey, send me a photo you want in it, right? Mm-hmm. But you can't. It's all about the pixels, right? You can't just take a photo off of Facebook and try to print it.
Right.
And I ask, and to the point that I was being a pain in the ass. I'm like, hey, bud, I've asked you 8 times now, and you keep sending me the same photo. I'm like, I can't use that photo. So that ended up being a big issue, and I blew a month because after I did that so many times, I was like, look, I'm not. What I did is I know 3 or 4 good photographers around the country. Mm-hmm. And I've just seen them at festivals and things. And so I just said, hey, man, you got a picture of Don Dawkins, send it to me, Mm-hmm. So that was the biggest issue, was actually the photos.
I can see that. That makes sense.
I can see that being difficult. Some photos, they're so small. I do have the same problem when I do the live show. I'll pull up photos to show the audience whatever, and it'll look so bad when I put it on the screen just because of the size of the pixels.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me too. A big pet peeve is when you see like some kind of a flyer for a show or something, and you're like, that picture's blurry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just because you can put it on, say, again, Facebook, you can't really take that same picture and go print it. You need a high resolution. So I've learned a lot about pixels.
So your band, you've been together for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing to me, because I mean, all these bands break up, or they have to start doing something else, or how do you keep together for that long? How do you keep a band together for that long? Is it just you guys have never had that many fights, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know the right way to ask that question, but it just
I mean, I can think of some fights. Usually the biggest fights typically were either over women.
Sure.
Hey, she's mine tonight kind of thing. Or but the biggest fights ever were over food. You take the 4 or 5 rockers and put them in a van and drive them 8, 10, 12 hours to some place, and one guy wants pizza and the other guy wants tacos and the other guy wants chicken, and then before you know it, we're not stopping yet, pee in the bottle, let's keep moving, that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, it's been a little bit better, I'm
Sure.
older now. But back in the day, that was definitely, there's been a couple of fist fights parked outside of the interstate over where we're going to eat. But it's rock and roll, man. It's like it's being in the clubs, like being in the Boy Scouts or something. Hell, I don't know. I mean, it's your own football team,
Yeah.
No, there's definitely fights, but everybody has the same goal, I mean, we've just been rocking. We stay busy. I mean, this last year's been completely messed up, which we're a little bit lucky since I'm in Florida. Jason, where are you at?
Ohio.
You're in Ohio as well. So in Florida, they were probably the lenient. I don't know if that's even a word, but as far as the mask restrictions and things like that. So we were able to squeak a few little shows in here and there where a lot of places were completely closed down. Mm-hmm. And then what really broke it for us is obviously we do your Rocklahomas and things like that, but we play a lot of bike events. I just came last weekend from Panama City Bike Rally. But being here in Florida, we play Daytona every year, and they have the obviously Bike Week, which we did back in March, and it was freaking packed. By the way, thousands and thousands of people, not one mask in sight. And what's weird about that, I mean, I'm not getting on that soapbox, but the COVID rates actually went down. So I don't know.
It's wild. Yeah, that's wild.
But I was concerned about it. But we played Biketoberfest back in that they do the one in the fall. It's a smaller rally, but I mean, since October, we've been slowly getting out there, keeping a little closer to home than we usually do. But we got shows coming up in the summer in Maine. Where else we got? I'm actually coming back up to Indianapolis, which is good because all my family lives there.
Sure.
So it's basically a hometown gig. So yeah.
You get some pork line, be great.
Yeah. You guys have to now. What part of Ohio? You guys live close together?
Columbus. Yeah, we're both in Columbus. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know Columbus well. Yeah. My drummer's from Sandusky.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Cedar Point.
Yep. I mean, the funny thing is, I've never been to Cedar Point. I've been to Kings Island many times. Right.
It's like a 3-hour, or no, it's probably a little more than that now. But yeah,
for me, like I said, I'm about 20, 30 minutes south of Indy. So I think it's a 6-7 hour drive or something. But Kings Island, I can get over in a couple hours, man.
Yeah, you can get to Cincy real quick. Yeah.
And that is a fun place to go.
Yeah, the Beast.
Yeah, I did the Beast. What was the last one they did? I get something I almost threw up on. It's been a while.
I'll tell you you've been to Cedar Point because Kings Island is now Cedar Point's Kings Island.
Kings Island is now Cedar Point's.
Well, Cedar Point, the company that owns Cedar Point owns Kings Island now. That's all I was trying to say. It's all the same. It's all the same people own both of them.
They own both of them.
Yeah.
Oh well, good for them. So they got it. They got that locked down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just haven't been to Cedar Point. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say it because I know it's really more adult oriented.
Yeah, I think you'd like it more. Yeah, if you still like roller coasters.
I'd have to do it just so I wouldn't be a wussy, right? I wouldn't be called out. You know what I mean?
3 Geeks is calling you out. You better get on those rides.
I'll be puking up ice cream and whatever afterwards. But no, I think Kings Island just because when I grew up in Indianapolis. That was the amusement park, closest one to the house. Yeah. So we used to make that run, and I took my son there. I think it's more of a family-oriented place.
For sure,
than Cedar Point. You know what I mean? Cedar Point's more like just let's go for it. Biggest roller coasters around. So yeah. That's good. And then we think about Ohio, Skyline Chili.
Yeah.
It's an Ohio thing. Yeah. I talking about food because I've been talking about food a lot. Who thought a rocker like me would eat? I mean, like even the book, it was featured in Rachel Ray magazine.
That's awesome. Cool.
So who would think a rocker? I never thought I'd be in Rachel Ray, right? But anyways, so food comes up quite a bit, and I was doing a thing. You know how like Chicago has hot dogs and pizza?
Yeah.
New Orleans has obviously got your jambalaya and all that kind of stuff, gumbo. This like Georgia, there you go. Georgia has like like I said, I know how to drink sweet tea and eat collard greens and cheese grits. I never even heard of that stuff prior to moving down here. And in Indiana, they have their pork tenderloins.
Yeah, breaded pork tenderloins. Yeah,
that's an Indiana thing. That's an Indiana thing. What's Ohio have? What are they known for?
They got Buckeyes, right? They got the snack Buckeye, right? The peanut and chocolate thing.
That's what I get that for Christmas. Yeah.
I'm not an Ohioan, so I don't really know what they grew up on, but I know pork tenderloin from Indiana.
Corn. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. You flatten it out, you smash it out, yeah. You go to the Brickyard after that. Not Brickyard, sorry, the Indianapolis 500. Yeah. You've never, Jason, you've never had a pork tenderloin?
I don't know.
Yeah, usually they're really big. If you get
they flatten them out. Yeah,
on it, and you just eat on. But that's I've told many people about that, and they don't have a clue what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like I'm getting like going to Maine. I've been up there a few times, and up there you get your obviously lobster, but they got the clam chowder and all that. Speaking of sports, right? So I like the Pacers enough. Now the problem with me is I've been in Florida since '95, moving from Indiana, and
are you a Heat fan then?
All my guys are gone. You know what I mean? I was back when Reggie Miller and all that, right?
Yeah.
The Davises and all that. Well, matter of fact, the last gig that I played in Indianapolis before I moved to Florida was the Rally in the Alley with Bob and Tom from 1995.
That's awesome.
It was outside. Budweiser was our sponsor because we had the sponsorship for the state, and it was Game 7 for the Pacers and the Knicks.
How about that? That's sweet.
So here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It was 50 degrees outside or something. It's brutal.
Nobody there.
No, how do you sell beer and stuff? You know. So yeah, but I did that run. But talking about Maine, being a Colts fan too. Now I happen to be a Tampa Bay Bucks fan now. I jumped on that wagon.
Was it pre or post Brady? Because I gotta judge you harshly.
That's what I'm getting to. Right? Yeah. So what I did for Christmas, I got a buddy up there, who's a big sports fan. I've known this guy, probably my oldest friend. I've known him since I was 13. Big sports guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plays all the the fantasy leagues and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Brady was like a nemesis, right?
Yeah. He's a curse word in the Colts household.
And now he plays for Tampa. Not only does he play for Tampa, he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I couldn't send him a jersey fast enough. Is all I'm saying. We're like, oh damn, Tom Brady, but I'm like, oh my god, man. Who wouldn't take him though, right?
I've learned once they split from Belichick, I dislike Belichick more than I dislike Brady. So
exactly. Right. I don't give a crap about Brady and his good looks and his hot lines and all that crap.
Literally has everything a person could want.
Yeah, he has stuff, but he rings on other fingers. He's running out of fingers, right? So, but it just bums me out because I'm such a Peyton Manning fan. I thought that he's an elite quarterback, and he started that whole no huddle thing. I mean,
I hear you say.
I can talk football. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
And my brother who lives in Indiana, he's still big. He's a big Cubby fan.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Indy don't have a baseball team, so but he does spring training, and he's even been to Arizona and all that. So
sure,
they're ate up with it,
Oh, for sure, yeah. No, my sister lives in Arizona. When I'm out there, I go watch the Cubs spring game every once. When I'm out there and they're there, right? It doesn't happen a lot, but
right. That's cool. Good. That's cool. So how's rock and roll coming up there? Are they starting to open the venues up?
Yes. Well, they're starting to book tours. My daughter just sent me like 6 concerts she wants to go to in the next year that have started to announce. But yeah, they're announcing.
Now, how old is your daughter?
12 or 13. She's 13 now.
And now, what 6 concerts do I know? I mean, is it Bruno Mars? I mean, is it Taylor Swift? Is it the who's left?
I'm sure there's Billie Eilish.
What's that?
Some girl named Ash. I've never heard of her. She wants to see Billie Eilish. She wants to see Harry Styles.
Oh, all the teen stuff then. Yeah.
Mm.
I got you. Yeah. It's amazing, right? It's funny. My son's 19 and I talked to him about rock and roll. Here's the thing about rock and roll, man. So the music business over 36 years, right? So first of all, there's no record companies left. I mean, there's 4 or 5, and the bands you mentioned are the ones that are signed on them. So you don't get that support anymore. Then after that, it was radio airplay. Well, there's like 2 companies that own all the radio stations. Well, if you're not in that clique, you don't get any love at all, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's not going to happen because, you know, it's that clique. So there's no radio airplay, obviously MTV and all that's done. And there's no real record label. So the only thing left for rock bands, especially where I come from, is just touring at this point.
Yeah.
And I, you know, like I said, that even got screwed up. And I was talking to my son. I'm like, you know, what's your favorite rock band? You know, we just, you know, how you make that small talk. He didn't care about rock and roll. He didn't give a crap about any of that stuff. But he told me Queen. I almost cried. I'm like, oh my God, that's solid. I'll take that.
Yeah.
A good one, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you know Queen? From a video game. I'm like, ah. So he tells me the guys that he likes, you know, he'll say, this guy, he's got 3 billion YouTube views or whatever. I mean, crazy amount of numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just like guys with a drum machine. There's not really, it's really crazy out there right now musically.
Have
Go ahead.
Oh, so have you dipped your toes in any of that Twitch or YouTube stuff for the band?
Man, well, YouTube, yeah. I mean, but the problem with YouTube and social media in general is that the good thing about it is everybody can be heard.
Mm-hmm.
The bad thing is everybody can be heard.
Yeah.
So there's no, you know, unless you, and plus I don't buy into a lot of that stuff, man. You know, they buy those views. Most of that stuff is all hype. You know that.
Sure.
So I don't, you know, I'm like, how can even Lady Gaga drop a thing and get 36 million views in a day? I'm like, that ain't even happening for her. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all fake. It's all paid to play. Nothing's changed, bro. The difference is you used to be able to go into and give a guy a hooker or give him some cocaine and he'll play your stuff in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? But now they don't have any control over that. They get the set list every week, what they're going to play. And now you have to buy in. You got to buy ads, man. You know, I'll give you for instance. So I was out pushing the cookbook. April, a couple of days ago, was April is Autism Awareness Month.
Sure.
So I was kind of, you know, pushing the cookbook. So I called everybody from your Today Show to Ellen to whatever. Well, I ended up getting a hold of one person, and that's hard enough just to try to track those people down, by the way. It's not like they just give their numbers out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give you an instance how that works. Got a hold of the Steve Harvey Show. Okay, right? I thought, okay, it's a charity. You know, maybe I just tried everybody. They wanted $9,000 a minute to go on there and promote the book. So even that's not free, bro, is what I'm saying.
Good Lord.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So when you see a Saturday Night Live, especially something like that, you know how you always go, how did they get that band on there?
Yeah.
You buy onto that. Now the label might buy onto it. I mean, you might have
someone's footing the bill.
It may be Aerosmith, but somebody's still buying it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So nothing's free, dude.
I always thought they were getting paid to be on there, not the other way around. That's ignorance on my part. Dang.
Don't even get me going with these concert cruises.
Oh.
They don't get most of those don't get paid either, man. It's
really
you can take your family and eat for free for 5 days. It's tough out there, bro.
That sucks.
Yeah. So I just keep my head down, do my thing. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that just I wake up tomorrow and go, hey, I want to do this, and I just make it happen. For instance, we just we just picked up a sponsor May 1st, Fran Hochwald. They're a biker. They're an insurance company, you know, for like bike wrecks and things like that.
Sure.
But and then where was I going with that? We just did a hamburger commercial. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but that's what I was getting at. So have you seen local? Okay, things come around in circles, right? I always say when I was young, when I was a kid, I used to still watch Sha Na Na. Remember, it was when I was a kid. It was about 50s. Now, it wasn't in the 50s when I was watching it, by the way. You know what I'm saying? It was 1980 or something, right? But they were representing that time frame. Well, that's how I sort of look about my band. You know, give you for instance, I did a show 2 years ago now, a big festival, and I had these 2 young girls come up to me in their early 20s, and they're like, "Oh my God, I love your band. I've never seen an 80s rock band because we still come bring it." You know what I mean? Like a little mini Kiss show and stuff. And they were like, "Oh my God, that one move you guys do. I know a band that stole it. You know where you get on stage and you rock back and forth? You know, think Warm or something, right?" So we have a song that we do that on. Been doing it from day one. And they're like, "Oh my God, I seen this band. They ripped you off." And I'm like, "Who's the band?" They're like, "Judas Priest." I'm like, "Look, man, I ripped it off from them." What are you talking about? The mentality of that, you know?
Yeah.
So we just hold our ground and keep doing what we want to do. That's but you have to check out the hamburger commercial. What was funny about that? We just did it like a month ago. So long story, but it's called Mooyah Burgers, Mooyah. Mooyah. They have 100 locations across the country in Canada and Dubai and everything else. So we went in there and did this commercial. And the reason I was excited about doing it, if you notice lately, a lot of the commercials you see on TV, like obviously Geico, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're the main one. But even the little Dr. Pepper guy, you know what I mean? He's all rocked out. Oh, so I go on, D. Snyder's got a vacuum commercial. I can kind of keep going with it. But it's amazing how that is now what's leading the media.
Sure.
And it won't happen for long. But what I was getting to, just like in the 80s, I was dealing with the 50s with Sean and all kind of stuff. And now here we are in the 2020 and we're dealing with the 80s.
Yeah.
Full
circle. Yeah.
Well, I think it's probably just the people that have the most money. You know what I mean? I mean,
fair. That's a good point.
45 to 40 to 60, maybe.
Yeah. That's fair.
That stuff. And they have more income now. So I think that even commercials hit that now. So anyways.
I could talk to you all day, and I think Justin and I are going to come catch your show in Indiana because I would love to meet you in person and just watch your band play. That'd be so much fun. But can you tell everybody again about where they can find the book and where they can find you online?
Yeah, the book, Rockin Recipes for Autism. It's Rockin, ROCKIN, recipesforautism.com. You can go there. You can check out everything that's going on. Like I said, you just pulled up the thing about Rachel Ray. And it has a buy now, order now button right there. Again, $29.99, and I'll send it to your house the next day.
That's awesome. Do you have any social medias?
Yeah, with the website, again, rockinrecipesforautism.com. As far as the band Nova Rex, you can go to Nova, NOVAREX, Nova Rex Rocks with the S, .com. A lot of stuff is on there. This past shows, lots of videos. I mean, it's 36 years of stuff. Yeah. I did a documentary back in 2011 called Nova Rex Ain't Easy Being Cheesy. That actually, I did it for fun. It was a glorified home movie. I shot it with one camera, handheld, taking the lampshade off. You know what I mean? But anyways, it was kind of like just where they're at now behind the scenes. And damn, if after it was done, it was pretty good. The documentary channel picked it up, aired it for a couple of years. They got bought out. Then Netflix had it. But check it out. Remember when Netflix used to do the mail-to-mail stuff?
Yeah. Yep.
You could keep it for like a week and you mail it whenever. That's when we had it on Netflix. But we're working on a new documentary right now. We're 4 weeks into it, so we should have something. Yeah, it just what happened then, and now here's basically 12 years later, and I got so much crazy story. We took GoPros with us everywhere, so it should be really fun. And borderline rated R. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's be great. Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you for coming on. It's been a blast. I would love to talk to you again in the future.
I'm around, brother.
All right, man. Have a great evening. And everybody that listened, please like, subscribe, and check out Kenny's book. I know I will be shortly after this.
And go Pacers.
That's right.
Thank you.